To find a solution to a system of linear equations by graphing, I need to graph both of these lines in this one graph and find the point of intersection. Now, if they intersect in one point, my answer will be an ordered pair. It's also possible that the lines are parallel and they never intersect, so my answer will be no solution. Or when I graph them, it turns out they're the same line, and my answer will be infinitely many solutions. To graph an equation like this in standard form, I'm going to find the y-intercept by substituting 0 for x, and then I'm going to find the x-intercept by substituting 0 for y. I'll graph those 2 points to find where that line goes. Well, when I substitute 0 in place of this x, this becomes 2 times 0, which is 0, minus 4y. Well, 0 minus 4y is negative 4y. So I get the equation negative 4y equals positive 8. When I divide both sides by negative 4 to solve for y, I get y value of negative 2. When I substitute 0 in place of the y, 4 times 0 is 0, 2x minus 0 is 2x, I get the equation 2x equals 8. When I divide both sides by 2 to solve for the x, I get x equals 4. So to graph this line, I need to go to negative 2 on the y-axis and put a point, and positive 4 on the x-axis and put a point. And my line goes through those 2 points. Now, let me make sure that I have a line pulled up here, and whoa, and let me not do a really big, huge, enormous line like that. So let me redo that one. Make this definitely thinner. Much better. Now, I'm going to have to fiddle with this line just a little bit to get it in the right place. You, of course, don't have to do that because you line your ruler up. Make sure that as you draw the line, you put arrows at the ends because it is a line, it's not a segment. It goes on forever. Now, for the second line, the y-intercept is the constant of positive 1. Now, the reason it's the y-intercept is because anything on the y-axis, x is 0, well, the opposite of 0 is 0, plus 1 is 1. The slope is the coefficient of the x term, which is negative 1 in this case, and I can turn anything into a fraction by putting it over positive 1. So a rise of negative 1 takes me down 1, run of positive 1 takes me to the right 1, and I have a line that goes in this direction. So let me get that line graphed. We can already see the point of intersection, but you really do need to graph both lines, get them in the right place, because part of this is also, do you know how to graph things properly? Once I sit there and I see the point of intersection, I make sure I put my x before my y, so x is 2, y is negative 1. So my answer is the ordered pair 2, negative 1. Now both of these lines are in slope-intercept form, so the first one I go to positive 1 on the x-axis and put a point. The slope is negative 2, which I could turn into a fraction by putting it over 1. So I go down 2 and to the right 1. A negative slope, the line should fall from left to right across the paper. Get my line in the right place for that one. And again, I have to do a little bit of fiddling here to get this line in the right place. If you line your ruler up correctly, it's in a good place to begin with for you. And the second line crosses the y-axis at negative 2, and a slope of negative 1/2 is either negative 1 over positive 2 or positive 1 over negative 2. The negative goes with one or the other. It can't go with both because negative 1 over negative 2 would be a positive 1/2. I'm going to choose to go down 1 and to the right 2, and I can see my point of intersection. Notice I'm putting my scale numbers out to see where that point is. And now I have to get my line through those 2 points. And my answer is that point of intersection, which is the ordered pair where x is 2 and y is negative 3. So that's solving a system of linear equations by graphing.